Hey, how's it going? We're out at Buffalo Creek and I thought I would show you the latest do-it-yourself modification to the underquilt. This is a poncho liner underquilt, but what I've done is kind of copied the dimensions of D&D's underquilts, which are really nice. And what that means is essentially it's just a poncho liner, but you shorten the width, and I think it's about 50 inches, and you got to add your grosgrain. But the difference is you taper the ends. The ends are tapered to make it smaller, so when you cinch it up you don't have as much excess material, and it's able to cinch up, I think, a little bit better than if it was full length, full width. You have this center point here, and on your tabs here, also your far tab here, you connect by sewing into the tab. You connect a rope or shock cord, and then you run it out the center, and by doing that it allows you to take in some of the excess. Sometimes a side will try to fold out away from you, and this allows you to scrunch it up and keep it actually nice and against you. The same thing with the tabs. Each one has its own individual bit of shock cord, so that way you can get it tight. Right now I just am using hitches to get it tight, but that prevents it from moving. So it's not gonna shift under and leave you exposed on one side. You know, you can actually control that, and it stays where it should be. The tabs here are connected directly to the grosgrain and the underquilt. A lot of times what you'll see is the shock cord will actually run this entire length to the other side, but the problem is that the weight of your underquilt, even if it's pretty light, it's shock cord and it's running over a long distance, it tends to sag. This thing tends to sag away, and it will actually kind of sag in. The center will fall, and then the bungee, it'll kind of slide in, and that's not what you want. You want it pretty much right against you. So having the tabs actually in a more positive connection, you can actually get this nice and tight across, okay? And then the combination of these and your center scrunch here, it keeps it just perfectly against you. It's a great design. This is how I'm going to make all of mine in the future. So only difference would be materials. Well, now I guess I'll hop in it and you can see what it looks like. So as you can see, it stays against you pretty well. I mean, it's here, and if you want, you can tighten it more, pull it away from each other to get it taut underneath. It's just the right combination of adjustment points. If you want one side higher than the other, if you're sleeping diagonally, and if this side is a little bit too low, you can tighten this line and loosen your back line and shift it over to get an exact adjustment. And now you can see that after doing that, you've pulled the underquilt to the side that's going to cover your shoulder, and it can be lower, and it can be lower on the opposite side that you don't really need insulated. After a couple different designs and a couple different builds or sewing projects, this is by far the most successful design that I've done so far, and that's what, 3. I definitely think this is an excellent option if you only got a few bucks and you just want to do something for yourself. That it'll go down pretty cold. Like I said, it was freezing last night, 32 degrees, and I slept. I wasn't particularly uncomfortable. I did know it was cold. I did not feel warm, but it worked out all right, and I think that's pretty impressive for just a poncho liner and some grill grain in a sewing machine. I will be doing the same modification to Katie's Underquilt, her poncho liner, and that I will get on film so that I can provide a how-to and you guys can do it yourself. One other thing, that design you can do with any materials. So if you want to get better materials online or at your local fabric store or whatever, you can use this design to, with Primaloft or even down with channels, and I'm sure that would work much better. If you want to spend that extra time and money, I recommend doing that.